So, welcome to the first video of the channel. My name is Alfie. I'm going to be guiding you through a grounding yoga flow today. This is basically based upon an idea I've been thinking about recently about kind of the importance of grounding in daily life. So yeah, I think we all lead very busy lives, and grounding reminds us of what's important and enables us to slow down and remember everything's okay. So that's what this class is about today. And we're going to start in Blasana, off on the butt with our knees on the ground. So we can just set the intention for today's practice. Take some deep breaths. Set the intention to be here for the next however many minutes of class. We're going to try to build some heat in this class. So yeah, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to want to do is come into tabletop. And we're going to do a quick wrist warm up. So you can sit on your heels and you can place your fingers in front of you and just rock back and forth. So we need to make sure our wrists are warmed up always. Take some circles around the wrists. Other way. And then move the wrist to the side and just rock left and right. Move them pointing towards the top of your mat and try and sit back into your forearms. Big forearm stretch, wrist stretch. Shake those hands up. So we're going to come into tabletop with our knees lifted off the ground. So it's a bit active here. Want our knees just a tiny bit off the ground, and we're just holding here for a minute. Getting some activation, building some fire. Make sure you're pushing the ground away. Stay here for a minute. So we're going to start to do some side kick throughs. So we're going to pivot to the left, plant left heel and push the right foot through. We're going to transition through center. Slowly keep our knees close and go the other way. And I'm going to do a few reps on each side. Shoulder mobility. Get into the hips as well. Nice and slow. Okay. We're going to come into a plank with pushing the ground away. Whole plank. Okay, so we're going to come back for loaded beast. Load into those knees. Back into plank. Loaded beast. Back into plank. Again. And this time we're going to shoot through to a chaturanga. Back to loaded beast. And then we're going to shift to a chaturanga up dog. to chaturanga, back to loaded beast. I'm going to go plank, chaturanga, up dog. Oh, I'm going to do that one more time. Amazing work. Plank, chaturanga, up dog. Amazing. So just stay in this up dog for a minute. And the breath. Breathe through the nose. And we're going to come back for a down facing dog. First down facing dog of practice. Pedal out those feet. Walk your dog. Arrive in the posture, in the position. And settle into your down facing dog. Make sure you're pushing into the L shape that both of your hands create into the inner wrist and pushing them out away. Okay, so we're going to go into a three-legged dog. The left foot up, open stack the hips. Ooh. And we're going to go into a wild thing. Oh. We're going to set the hips down and reach towards that right foot. And we're going to come back up into a wild thing. And we're going to make that into a side plank on the right hand. Stay strong. We're going to go into plank, and we're going to go into starfish on the other side. Amazing work. Stay strong. And we're going to set our hips down. I'm going to come into a straddle forward fold. Those hips back and the legs nice and wide, and we're going to just bend forward. Find whatever stretch works best for you, whatever feels best in the body. Maybe take a stretch to the right foot. Keep the breath going, mindful in the breath. Maybe transition through center to the other side. Okay. Come back into our starfish pose. And what we're going to do now is we're going to float into, I'm not sure what the pose is called, but we're going to lift that right foot off the ground and hold. Okay, taking the right foot, putting it next to your left hand, and coming into an A-frame pose where your right foot is straight down and we keep that left foot behind the right. And we're going to reach up with our hand, look up to the ceiling, chest to the ceiling. Beautiful work. We're going to go and look through center to the other side with the arm Big stretch in the right hip. We're going to plant our hands down and we're going to come into a goddess pose where we have our knees pointing outwards and we bring our hands to our chest and we're going to hold here. Deep breaths. To the space that we're creating. We're grounding right now into the floor, into our bodies, hips forward, tuck the belly button, hold. We're going to squat down, I'm going to go back up, we're going to squat down, and we're going to try and go into a yogi squat, where both our elbows are next to our knees, and if you can't do this, this is perfectly fine. Just kind of stay however where you are up to. We won't be here for too long. So we're just going to reset with your vinyasa. I'm going to just go into a chaturanga, up dog and back to down facing dog. So however you want to get back to downward dog, if you want to plank, child's pose, whatever works best for you. Okay. I'm going to arrive in the downward dog. I'm going to another three-legged dog with our right leg this time. Open stack the hips. And plant the foot. For a wild thing on the opposite side. We're going to again take this into a side plank, making sure to point our toes up to the top of the mat for that stability. We're then going to plant our right hand and we're going to kick through into a starfish on the other side. Strong. Push those hips up. We're going to come down again. And we're going to come this time into a butterfly pose where we have both of our heels together. Bring them closer to our hips. So if you want a deeper stretch, and we just melt down into those hips. Nice and relaxed. No resistance. Practicing letting go. So we're just going to come back and slowly make our way back into a starfish pose. To make sure that right hand is planted well. And we're going to again prepare to go into a one-legged starfish, floating starfish. Let's move that. Hold. Breathe. I'm going to step over on the inside of the right hand and come back into an A-frame or on the knife edge of both feet here. And we're going to just reach up. Breathe into the space. Maybe take a reach. Recenter. To the other side. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to again come down, and this time we're going to put our toes and our knees together into a chair pose with our hips forward and our belly button knitted to the chest. So we're going to come onto our heels. See that here. Come onto our heels and squat deeper down. Hold. Beautiful work. I'm going to squat down into a boat pose. Pointing our toes forward and our knees back. Hold here. Maybe come into low boat if you want to. I'm going to come into low boat by going to my lower back. Hold. If this gets too hard, come back into boat. Hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back into boat, which is sometimes harder than being in a low boat. Beautiful work. So we're going to come back into a chaturanga. Try not to use your hands. Here we go. I'm going to hold the chaturanga. 10 seconds. Shift forward. 10, 9, shift more forward. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Half, quarter, fifth, plank pose, and downward dog. Beautiful work. Beautiful work. Whew. So then just take 3 deep breaths. In the pose. Remind yourself of the intention that we set today to ground, come back to ourselves, to integrate our mind back into our bodies. We're going to lift our left leg, and we're going to come from the left knee to left elbow, to left wrist, to the right wrist, to the right armpit, to the right wrist. I'm gonna go back to the left wrist. Sorry, this is a bit clunky. I'm gonna sit back into a pigeon pose. We have our left knee, our left hand. Try and make a 90 degrees as much as possible, but it really doesn't matter as long as you have the sensation and you're pointing your knees up. Slowly melt down over that left hip. This is where we're practicing letting go of trying to control the movement and just slowly melting into it and stop resisting. Stop the voice in your head that's saying you to go deeper, or that the posture has to look a certain way, because it's really just however you need it to be today, as long as it's safe. With left knee pointed up and so melt down onto that knee. I'm going to stay here for about 5 breaths. Beautiful work. Slowly come out. Very nice. So we're actually going to sit that hip down again. And we're going to bring our right foot over. And we can lift our hips up to make sure we try to stack those knees on top of each other if it's possible and accessible in your body. We're coming into full cow face where we point both our knees up. Both our toes up, and we melt over, feeling a sensation in both the hips. There should be no pain here in the knees at all. Being careful,
stopping coming out of it if it doesn't feel right, but just slowly melting down if it feels good. And you're pointing both those toes up to protect the knees. Just melting down. No, this feels great in my body today. I really need this today. It's great in my mind. Yoga. Okay, so we can slowly make our way out. And make our way back into that down facing dog, wherever means accessible. I'm just going to reset with one quick vinyasa, so we're going to shift forward to a plank, up dog, chaturanga, back into that down dog. Now we're going to do the other side. Right foot lifts, right foot to left elbow, left wrist, right wrist, right elbow. And then we're going to set the knee down right next to that right wrist again, and we're going to slowly push our hips back and back until we're getting closer to the floor. Point those right toes up, and again, melt down. Maybe it looks like this for you, maybe that's what feels right today. Untuck the toes. Come back to your body. Breathe through the nose. Melt down. Three more breaths in this pose. Surrender. And again, shifting the hips to the right. Bringing the left foot over the top. Coming onto our hands to help us stack those knees if it feels accessible and comfortable again. And shifting those toes upwards. We're melting down into the full cow face again. On the other side. Melting down over the knees. Sensation in the left hip. 3 more breaths. Okay, so we're going to slowly come out of that. And we can just come into a seated position. I'm going to do a breathwork practice now. We're going to do box breathing of 7 seconds inhale, 7 second hold, 7 second exhale, and 7 second hold. And we're going to repeat that a few times so it feels right, that we'll be able to move on. I'm going to guide you through the first round. Just breathe in for 7 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold at the top for 7 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 7 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold at the bottom for 7 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And repeat this, doing 5 if that 7 felt too long. Do 3 rounds on your own and we'll meet after that. Return to your regular breathing. Instead of controlling the breath, we're just observing the breath through the nose. Letting today or your plans for the day settle down. And reminding yourself that you always have the breath to come back to in any moment of disturbance or disruption in your life. You can always come back to the breath. Always ground yourself in the sensations in the body. And remember to be proud of yourself for having stepped on the mat today and practiced another day, or having practiced or begin to practice another day of existing. It takes a lot of courage to get up every day and do the work, put the hard work in to, make the life that you want. But it's important to ground and watch your expectations and just be fully present in the mind and the body, forgetting all the problems and just reminding ourselves that we have a healthy body to practice in, that we are safe, and the breath can always remind us. So feel free to continue. We did the breath work and the meditation, but I'm going to close the practice here. So bring our hands to the center. Thank you for practicing with me today. Thank you for allowing me to be your guide. May peace and mindfulness allow you to carve out space in your life. And may you be kind to yourself and remember the elements in your breath is always there. Always the world around you is something you can ground yourself in. And remember to come out of your mind once in a while and just exist. Remember to exist. So with that said, much love and gratitude. Namaste.